Hello Australia, welcome to another episode of The Couch, episode 732 to be exact. Let me tell you what's on the show today. Trish Blake is coming in from Department of Consumer Protection in WA, talking about gyms. She's the Retail Services Director here in WA, so we can't wait to talk to her. Light the Night is a fantastic charity for Leukemia Foundation. We talk to the chairman and also a couple of special people as well today. The Bay Music Club, wonderful new music venue in Bayswater. Nisha's got a special guest, Jim. He'll talk to her about that one. Red Zoo, we get to touch a crocodile and more. We talk to Red, of course, Ranger Red. Stay tuned for that one. And then Ted, Nat and Chris are here talking all the news topics that you're talking about in Bitchin. So I hope you can stick around for at least the next hour. It's The Couch.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello Australia, welcome to another episode of The Couch. Hope you can stick around for the next hour. Hope you're doing well wherever you might be watching us across Australia on Foxtel. Only Foxtel has The Couch, or you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube as well. Today, Nisha Seth is back dressed in blue, wonderful, matching my lanterns. If you're wondering what these are from Light the Night. We'll hear more about that and the Leukemia Foundation later on. But today, Trish Blake is filling in for Gary Newcomb from the Department of Consumer Protection WA. We're talking gymnasium memberships. Over to you, Nisha.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Fred, and welcome to The Couch, Trish.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We are looking forward to a couple of really important topics today. Being the Director of Retail and Services, you are across all the latest statistics.
That's right.
And as Fred said there, one of the key areas, focuses at the moment is I believe some of our fitness operators are potentially not doing the right thing. So you've got a few warnings and a few tips for us.
We do indeed, yeah. So I think when the cost of living gets a bit tight, and we know that is happening at the moment, and people are struggling to pay their bills, they look for where they can cut back on expenses. And discretionary spends are one of those areas where we do tend to cut back first. So we're seeing a lot of consumers at the moment needing to cut back on their gym memberships is one area. And when the fitness code was brought in last year, it changed things so that if you need to cancel your membership, you only need to do so in writing. And you can do that at any time in your membership. But what we're finding is the gyms aren't quite playing by the right rules.
Right, so really interesting if now you do want to obviously cancel your membership, you only need to, so just clarifying, you only need to provide them with a written letter?
Could be a text message, it could be an email. It actually doesn't need to be in any specific form. So we do recommend an email because that's a really nice way to keep a record of it.
Yes.
And then you can keep your read receipts as well.
Okay, and how long? So is it 4 weeks notice or is it instant?
It really just depends on the timing of it and your reasons for needing to cancel. So when the fitness code was brought in, it introduced or it extended the cooling off period. So you now have 7-day cooling off period when you sign a lease.
No.
Yep.
Yes.
And then if you cancel in that 7 days, they can just charge you some costs for, administration type costs.
Wonderful. What are some of the common pitfalls? So if I do try and cancel my membership, what are you hearing from consumers calling in?
The most common one is that the gym will say you need to come in to see us to cancel your contract. And often they'll have that as a term in their contract, but we want everyone to know that that's actually not a lawful term.
Okay.
And they don't have to go in. Because I think we all know there's one reason why they'd be wanting you to come in.
A bit harder when you have that connection, right?
It is indeed, because when they're right in front of you and you're saying, I really need to cancel, one, people might be ashamed because they can't afford it anymore, but also you then very susceptible to those high pressure sales tactics. So they might be saying, oh, but you've been doing so well and we can see the change. Or they might go you're looking a little cuddly at the moment. Do you think now's the right time to be
I really hope they
cancelling?
wouldn't say that to any of us. But I hear you. It's you can get the emotional levers in place when you've got someone in front of you.
Yeah.
For sure. So what can we do? Like, so if I know that a lot of people do use your line. It's so valuable.
Yeah.
But is it simply to give you a call and you can provide some advice?
Absolutely. So feel free to give us a call on 1300 30 40 54. But what I'd like consumers to do first is go back to their gym and say, Consumer Protection told me that I don't need to come in and cancel, so you tell me why I need to.
Okay, that's perfect. So that's a good line to go in, and hopefully they change their tune at that point.
Absolutely.
And it's obviously not all fitness operators. We do know that there are some that are a bit more challenging than others. They're also in challenging climate, but not an excuse not to follow the code.
No, and that's right. And we absolutely understand that gyms really suffered during COVID because a lot of the time they had to shut down. And then when we had the vaccine mandate, there were a lot of people who actually needed to cancel their memberships then because they hadn't had the vaccines and they couldn't go. So we understand that, and we've been taking a fairly softly approach with the gyms. But now it's sort of, it's beyond COVID now, and they really need to pull their socks up. And if they don't, they might find themselves on the wrong side of our investigations.
Okay, well, that's a good warning there, and a very good confidence for our consumers as well.
Exactly.
We want to also talk today about removalists. So we know that we have to be very careful with social media and how we engage, and Gary Newcomb has also spoken to us about, obviously the Commission of Consumer Protection has come on the couch and spoken about a lot of scams. But what's happening in the world of removalists?
Yeah, so what we're seeing now is a lot of people, people that need to move home, and we will have seen a lot of churn in the rental market, people buying and selling, is that they're turning to Facebook and other social media platforms to hire their removalist, and that is not a good way to go.
Okay, so tell us a bit of warning. Tell us what's been happening. What have you been hearing?
What we're hearing is that sometimes they don't turn up, and that's probably the simplest outcome for somebody, as difficult and painful as that is on the day that you need to move. We're actually finding that people are having, they're getting rogue removalists turn up, so people who aren't qualified. Property's damaged, and sometimes they don't even get their property back.
It's the collateral.
It is. It's been held to ransom.
Yeah, goodness me. So what do we watch out for? Because that's really important. You know, we all scroll through our media.
Look, I really want to encourage people, if you need a removalist, look for someone who's a member of the Australian Furniture Removalists Association, because they'll have all the right insurances in place, they'll be accredited, they'll know what they're doing. Go to locals and ask people that you know that might have moved on your social media groups. Ask for recommendations. Word of mouth is the best way to get a good service provider.
Yeah, beautiful. So, good testimonial. The other thing that jumps to mind that I know Gary mentioned in regards to, I think we were talking about settlements back at that point, but when you do engage over the internet is a number of different mediums. So maybe using your phone and calling and just confirming those details.
Absolutely. So you want to check, and you want to ask them some very specific questions. So what their insurance, and I'd ask them for a copy of their insurance policy, and I'd ask them if there's going to be extra fees if they need to store the furniture, and very importantly, where they're going to store your furniture.
Oh, why is it so important?
Because, as I said, we've had people come to us and their furniture has been held to ransom because they don't know where it's being stored.
Oh, my goodness.
And by the time they come to us, the removalist has shut down their Facebook page or their social media page, and it's very difficult for us to track them down.
Gosh, well, a lot of important points to consider there.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk through with the audience?
I think mostly trust your instinct. So if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. So really ask for recommendations from people you trust, and go to trusted sources to find a good quality removalist.
Wonderful. Trish, always so informative. Where do we go to find out more?
Okay, so if you want more from us, you can come to our website, which is consumerprotection.wa.gov.au, or you can call us on 1300 30 40 54.
Thank you so much, Trish, the Director of Retail and Services at Consumer Protection. We'll look forward to seeing you again on the couch, hopefully, and quick recovery to Gary, who I think is getting over a little bit of a cough.
Yes, we all wish him a very speedy recovery. Thank you.
Wonderful. If you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page as well. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Always great to see Trish Blake, not just here at the couch, but also on 6PR as well. You can catch her. Trish, you're still doing your regular segment there at 6PR?
I am indeed.
On
every
which
second
program?
Tuesday with Ollie in the afternoons.
On Drive.
On Drive.
Well done. And I now have realised, thanks to you, Trish, that when I go I'll go physically to the gym, and all I normally say is, it hasn't worked. And they throw the money at me and say, leave because we don't want you. they don't want me to stand out the front because they don't get many customers.
Oh.
So if you've ever got any problems, just ring me here at the couch. I'm happy to play you at the gym. They'll give you your money back, trust me. Thank you to Trish Blake. Consumer Protection, they do a great job here in WA. All the hard-working staff, they're there to help you. So please, don't be one of these people who says, I can't be bothered, ring. What are they going to do? Give you advice. That's sometimes the thing you're lacking. We're going to take a break. Coming up, more of the couch. We're actually going to be talking Light the Night, a great event for Leukemia Foundation. See you then. Welcome back to the couch. The Leukemia Foundation's Light the Night event is a virtual ceremony taking place across Australia on Friday the 30th of September 2022. To talk to us about this great event, we've got the chairman of the Leukemia Foundation in the studio, Lucio Di Gianlonato. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Fred.
This is a big event, Lucio. Now, we've had you on the couch last year and the lanterns are part of the event. Talk to me about Light the Night. How does it work?
Well, Light the Night is one of our signature events, and the aim is to shine a light, figuratively and also actually, on the night to blood cancer. Blood cancer is prevalent in our community.
Is it one of the largest, when we talk about cancer,
Yeah.
is it one of the largest types of cancer that people face?
Well, as far as deaths are concerned, it's the second most prevalent
Very
of
major.
all cancers. Yeah, blood cancers
So
combined.
we've all been touched by it, or we know someone that has been touched by it.
It's a lot of that happening, absolutely, yes.
So we do this once a year on September the 30th. It's virtual this year. We've had it virtual for a couple of years, haven't
It
we?
is. It's 3 years now.
Yep.
I think it's our 15th event we're having, and pre-COVID, of course, we used to have the live events, and the last couple were down at Elizabeth Quay, where people used to walk around holding their lanterns.
Those were the days.
No, they were, I know. But with COVID happening, and we had to be careful with obviously distancing, etc. And I've got to say, as much as I love the live events, I've got to say the virtual ones are more special, more personal, because you can have it at home in your lounge rooms, in your
People
backyards.
around you.
Absolutely, with friends and family.
And
absolutely.
I think COVID has done some good in some ways. It's made it possible that everybody, doesn't matter where they are in Australia, whether you're at home, whether you're on holidays, whether you're at the beach, as long as you've got a mobile phone with internet connection,
Absolutely.
you can take part and get a couple of the lanterns.
Absolutely.
And everybody can take part. And at the end of the day, it's all about raising money to help people who are suffering with blood cancers, isn't it? And I know you look after there's three types that have been listed on the list I've got here. So you've got leukemia, you've got lymphoma, and you've also got myeloma.
Indeed.
They're the three major ones?
They are, and there's a whole heap of other subtypes. I think there's about 100, 150
Wow.
subtypes, and they've all got their own symptoms and their own treatments. I hate talking about statistics, but I think we need to, because we need to know what we're facing. And at the moment, 53 Australians a day are being diagnosed with blood cancer.
That's a lot.
That's one every 27 minutes. So by the time this program's done, 2 people will have been diagnosed with blood cancer.
Horrible
and
statistics, aren't they?
sadly, one of the saddest things is that 16 people a day losing their lives, and that's around 6,000 a year.
So what can we do as a public? What would you like us to do? How can we be involved?
Well, I think awareness is a big thing, because early on in the piece, the statistics show that a lot of people don't know what the symptoms are for blood cancer. And as a result, because a lot of the symptoms are flu-like, COVID-19-like, they might say, well, I'm not going to go to the GP, I'll just do my own self-diagnosis. And that's really dangerous, because early diagnosis of blood cancer means early treatment, means increased chances of survival. So I think the symptoms are similar to flu, recurrent fevers, bone pain, night sweats, that sort of thing. Unexpected weight loss is another one.
Yep.
People need to go and see their GP, because it's a simple blood test that
Correct.
can detect whether you've got blood cancer or not. Unfortunately, there's no other screening programs available, and blood cancer doesn't discriminate between young, middle-aged or old. You can have it any time.
No, I agree with you. I know a lot of people, it's like the bowel cancer test. People don't want to do them, they throw them out. Really important, take 10 minutes out of your day. And you can go in, you get bulk billed for the blood test, your doctor writes a referral, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes, you don't even have to book an appointment, and then within a couple of days they get the results. And if you're clear, you're happy.
Absolutely.
And if you're not clear, then you get a lot of support. And Leukemia Foundation also provides a lot of support to cancer patients, doesn't it?
We do, absolutely. Events such as Light the Night, World's Greatest Shave, yes, we're looking to raise as much money as we can. We want to put as much money into research as we can, either to find a cure, or if not a cure, certainly better treatments and support for blood cancer patients. Yeah.
Now, what do people need to do to be part of the Light the Night?
Well, you need to go online and register. There's a website called lightthenight.org.au. You go in there, you register. That way you get your lantern, either a gold lantern that Fred's holding up, a blue, or a white lantern. And importantly, also gives you a link to the actual event itself.
Between two roses. They are beautiful, aren't they? And look, what a great symbol. And each of the colours actually symbolises different things.
Indeed.
Can you tell me, do you remember what they were? Or you
absolutely. I've got this down pat, Fred.
You've got it.
But the gold that I'm holding signifies or represents someone that you know has passed away from a blood cancer. My father-in-law sadly passed away about 5 years ago.
Yes.
The white signifies you're currently going through a blood cancer journey, and the blue is just to show general support.
How wonderful is that? What a great concept.
It's terrific.
Look, Leukemia Foundation, what a credible organisation. I tell you what, I'm not shaving my hair off because it's already falling out, but we get involved with that. The Light the Night is a fantastic event, and you run other events as well throughout the year. You do an amazing job. Can people donate to Leukemia Foundation generally by going on your website?
Yeah, absolutely, they can. A lot of our fundraising is event-driven, so Light the Night, once you go into that website I mentioned, you have the opportunity to donate if you wish.
Yep.
And the World's Greatest Shave, again, that happened in March, you could have donated. But generally, yes, absolutely, you can go in any time.
Lucio, the event's on the 30th of September. That's when we all get together, raise our lanterns wherever we are, on the beach, at home, in the backyard, having a barbecue. Make it an event. Make it a special event. Make it a fun night with family and friends. Or even if you're on your own, you can still celebrate it. But the registration, is there a period when they close?
They're actually open at the moment, right up to the night. And in fact, September is Blood Cancer Awareness Month. And it's quite fitting that on the last day, as the sun sets on the month of September, we've got this fantastic event, which literally will shine a light on blood cancer.
Got to love the work the Leukemia Foundation does. And of course, who better than Lucio? He runs it as a chairman. You do a fantastic job. We've got a couple of guests coming up very soon, which we can't wait to speak to with Nisha. But Lucio, thank you very much. All the best for this great event. And we're happy to have you back on anytime.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it will be a great success. Get involved, go to the website, register right now. It is lightthenight.org.au. We've shown you the website many, many times. We're going to talk to a special guest, but if you missed the key points, check this out.
On Friday, September 30,
thousands of Australians who have experienced the darkness of blood cancer will stand together to light the night.
Gather your loved ones at home, from hospital or afar,
and take part in the virtual lantern lighting ceremony.
Raise your lantern in honour of your own blood cancer journey,
or to show your support,
or for a loved one lost too soon.
Join your blood cancer community.
Register now to light the night.
Yes, please do register by the 30th of September and be involved. Get your lanterns like I've got. I think I've bought them all anyway, so they're all gone. But Nisha has a couple of special guests to continue our discussion about Light the Night. Liz and Ainsley, over to you. Nisha.
Thank you so much, Fred. It's always great to hear personal stories, and we have both Liz and Ainsley joining us on the couch to share their personal journey with blood cancer as well. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So Light the Night is a great activity that has happened every year, and we've had Lucio just on the couch as well talking about that. But we'd like to just thank you in advance for coming on, and obviously, well, not obviously, because we're saying how youthful you look there too, but mother and daughter here. So your personal journey is really shared. Ainsley, can you just talk us through a little bit about your diagnosis and I guess, the treatment you went through and all the support that you got?
Yeah, of course. So I was 13 years old when I was diagnosed, and I went through numerous rounds of high-dose chemo intense therapy to save my life. So, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, Liz, as mother, that was an experience for you as well.
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic, yeah.
And you're both sitting on the couch today with smiles and lanterns, so that's wonderful. Ainsley as well, you're giving so much back into the foundation. So you were recently involved with the world's greatest shave. So you had all your hair shaved off. Tell us a bit about your involvement and all this work at the school that was done too.
Yeah, of course. So it was really empowering to be able to shave my head on my own terms, and quite a lot of my friends who were also shaving their head told me that they were inspired by me to shave, which was really moving, and it just felt so special to be able to share that with all of the people I love around me, and of course all of the generous donations from all the people that donated to me, and to think that all of that money will go into great work and help people who are going through the same journey as me. It's just really inspiring and very, very special to me, yeah.
Fantastic. And as supporters of the Leukemia Foundation already, what does it mean for both of you to be able to participate in Light the Night?
Oh, very, very, very excited. So this is our first time, so we're really looking forward to it, yeah.
And it is, it's beautiful. There's always surprises, and I hear that there's going to be some special editions this year, but it's all hush, hush, hush. What will you both be doing for the Light the Night evening? Because I'm sure there's many audience members who are going to organise something on that last night of September now. What will you both be doing?
Yeah, so we sort of are talking and planning to talk to our friends who are also impacted by blood cancer. Lauren in particular is someone we might, talk about, plan things with her. We're going to do something at a local park, in Hyde Park, and come
Beautiful
together.
Park to go to, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And share stories, light lanterns, and have some music and have a picnic.
Beautiful. And I hear the Birds of Tokyo light the, what's the song called again? Someone yell it out in the studio. Lanterns, apologies. I hear that Lucio can play that as well. So we might need to get him in the accordion.
Ooh,
he might
that
make an appearance as well,
Ooh,
if
that
you
would
like.
be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome.
And importantly, because we do have mother and daughter on the couch, I think what's important is, what message for other Australians watching the program who are going through a personal journey or a battle with blood cancer at the moment would you have for them?
I would probably say keep going no matter what, and it's one step at a time, yeah.
Well, for me as a mother of a child who has been diagnosed with blood cancer, I would say pray and one day at a time.
Lovely, thank you. And it's so good to have that faith when we're looking at, blood cancers and the statistics at the moment. There is a lot of education and awareness that I think we can do. One quick question for you, Ainsley. I know it's a little bit off script, but you mentioned from an inspirational point of view, a lot of your friends got involved. What's that been like? Do you think younger people getting involved and really understanding and championing it is really important at school as well?
Yeah, I think it's really important to, especially because I guess it's not very common for many people at school to have a cancer child in their year, and it's just a lot of the education around it and all of my friends getting involved, and now they know so much more about what I've been through. It's really good for, especially for the younger communities, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, congratulations in terms of all of your involvement with Light the Night as well as with the world's greatest shave. It's great to see young Australians doing great things. In terms of finding out more, you can obviously go to lightthenight.org.au. But thank you both for coming on the show and sharing your personal journey with us. It's much appreciated. It's just such nice energy having you two here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. So thank you.
And before we go, I nearly forgot, but can we talk about the colours of the lanterns here too? Because you're both holding specific colours. So holding the white lantern means?
So the white lantern means that is you're going on your blood cancer journey or you're surviving your blood cancer journey.
And the blue just means that you're supporting someone. And there is also a goal, which is someone who's lost someone to blood cancer.
Okay. Great. So very meaningful, and you can get involved. Go to lightthenight.org.au, organise an event, and share the special time with your family and friends. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for being on the couch. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. Can I ask a quick question to Liz and Ainsley? Put you on the spot, Liz. I'm over here, Liz.
Okay.
Liz thought, who is this voice? Liz, how important, and Ainsley, how important was the Leukemia Foundation in your journey? How important are they? When you talk about blood cancers, could you have done it without them?
I personally have received enormous support from Leukemia Foundation, so I'm very, very grateful for the work they do.
Support and everything else they do.
Yeah.
And I think, and Ainsley, did you want to say anything about the support from the Leukemia Foundation?
It's just really nice to, you know, since I was diagnosed such a long time ago, it's nice to still have that that support throughout my years of post-treatment.
And the reason I make that comment is Leukemia Foundation is trying to raise funds for blood cancers and research and also support, and they do an amazing job. And I want to urge people to help people like yourself, people that have been through it, they're still on the journey, and the importance of Leukemia Foundation. Thank you very much for coming on today. Very brave. Have a wonderful event on the 30th of September, and I think I'll be raising a couple of lanterns and maybe a couple of glasses of wine as well on the other hand. Well
I'll
done.
be there
Thank you.
then,
Thank you, Nisha, as well.
Pleasure.
Don't forget, please get involved, and if you'd like to be involved and register, it is, of course, lightthenight.org.au, or you can go to thecouch.com.au and follow us on our Facebook page as well. There it is on screen. We'll take a break. More of The Couch coming up very soon. Ranger Red with his Crocodile next. Well, welcome back to The Couch. Nice to have you back with us here. And we have got a very special guest. Now, Jim came in a few weeks ago to talk about Gidstock. But today, he's got something very special called the Bay Music Club. Talking to him about all things music. Nisha.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fred. Welcome back on The Couch, Jim.
Thank you, Nisha. Nice to be here.
The Bay Music Club. Sounds very, very exclusive.
Oh, well, not really. We let anybody in. It's Perth's probably newest music venue. It's we started up in November, so it's still relatively new, which is why we're here. We want to tell people about it and get it more established. And Perth needs more venues, particularly since COVID has hit the music industry pretty badly. So we decided to create a new music venue to pay musicians what they're worth.
That's wonderful. So there's so many, so many motivators for this. One, like you're saying, it's musicians, giving them an opportunity to showcase their talent. But then there's also the venue that you have it at is a beautiful venue as well. That's given you that opportunity. It
is. I'm very thankful to the Bayswater Bowling Club to make their function room available. It's Bayswater Recreation and Club, and they're looking for more involvement from the community. And this room, we have it decked out as a cabaret room with black tablecloths, candles. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely. So, can you?
Bit of a party going on that night.
Yes, it does look very good. So, tell us about, some of the acts that you have coming on during the course of the next few months.
Yes. One of the things that I mentioned when we did the Gidstock interview was we canvass our audience to find out what music they want. It's music for the people. It's when you're a music promoter, there's a big temptation to put on the stuff that you like.
Yes.
so in the Bay Music Club, we're doing a variety of genres and getting feedback from our audience as to what they really like. So we've had some jazz, we've had rock and roll, we've had, in that case, as you saw there, it was a 9-piece band called Dr. Soul, who did a fantastic act.
And of course, there's Jim Jam.
Well, funny you should say that. So this month on the 26th, Friday the 26th of August, the headline act is Jim Jam, which is my band.
Beautiful.
So Jim Jam, we can't actually say we're a genre. Jim Jam will do anything from folk, rock and roll, even opera.
You look great there on stage.
So we're all classically trained. I'm a classically trained tenor as well. So we do all sorts. In fact, on the 26th, we're going to showcase all of our stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you mentioned off air. It's about authenticity and the origin of the music too, right? 'Cause you have a lot of bands that will cover songs. Tell us about your sort of philosophy in that space.
Yes, well, we have a headline act every month, and then we have a support act, which is usually an emerging act. And so that's kind of our philosophy. We do a bit of both. And that can certainly be original music. We encourage original music, and young people out of WAPA and the universities. This month we've got a new duo, a mature duo, and Bill and Ed. And they've recently started playing. I'm finding a lot of people who, or even retirement age, have started music again. You know, they had lessons when they're kids, and now they want to get into it again. So we encourage that.
That's wonderful. And, you know, mental health is a big topic on everyone's agenda now. We know that music has great connective properties as well. Tell us about, or talk us through what it's like if you attend on, so it's the fourth Friday of each month. So if you were to go, what's available for people? Okay, well,
you come into the room, you get seated at a table with a black tablecloth, candles. We have lovely lighting, great sound. As I said before, you forget you're in a bowling club, apart from when you go to the bar and get the bar prices, which is really nice. And and there's food available as well.
Beautiful. So there's a food truck out the front too, so you can make an evening of that.
Yes, or you can bring your own snacks.
Oh, you're allowed to bring your own food in?
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fantastic.
And all the profits go to the artists and to promote live music, which is what we're all about.
Fantastic, Jim. So the Bay Music Club is a new pub. I just mixed up. You know what I was thinking of there? I was thinking about an experience I had at one of these bowling clubs, and it was fantastic. So fully me for making a double mistake there. But quickly, can you please tell us, the audience, when the next date is that the club is open?
So it's on the fourth Friday of every month. The next one is this coming Friday, the 26th of August. And if you want more information and buy tickets, go onto our website or just Google the Bay Music Club. The website is www.thebaymusicclub.com.au. Tickets are available also on Eventbrite.
Wonderful, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us on the couch again, and we'll look forward to having you back on in the near future.
Thank you, Nisha, Fred.
If you've forgotten or need any more information, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page as well. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Good on you, Nisha. Thank you to Jim as well. We've got a couple of tickets to give away. Jim has kindly donated 2 tickets. Now, is it for the show on the 26th? And you'll see Jim Jam on that show, which is even better. Don't forget, you can get your food there, you can get your drinks there. Please support them. $25 if you want to go with these 2 people that have got the free tickets. We would love you to support them. It's great to see local music acts get some work and be paid for what they do as well. All you got to do is send an SMS with your name and address on it. Send it to 0439 929 929, and the code word today is Jim Jam. Both words, both capitals on the J's, by the way. Thank you very much, the Bay Music Club. Please support them at the Bayswater Bowling Club every 4th Friday every month. Well done. We're going to talk about Daffodil Day. It's coming up very soon, so I thought I'd play a little bit of a promo. Here it is.
So, oh God, I'm already getting emotional. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you did for me, and coming down and spending all your time at the hospital with me and driving me to and from hospital to have my treatment, cooking food for me and making sure I was doing okay. Terry.
You're right, darling.
I just appreciate everything you did.
I know. And you know I was always going to be there for you anyway.
I just wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And, you know, all the support and love that you gave me.
That's all right, darling. That's what mums do.
Support, of course, Daffodil Day, 25th of August. Now on the couch, it gives me great pleasure to have him back in the studio. Ranger Red, he's back from Red Zoo, and he's brought a friend called Broom with him. Welcome back, Red.
Thank you for having us, and I'm excited to be here finally with the crocodiles.
How wonderful is this? Because we've been talking about this for the last couple of years. When are you getting a crocodile? When are you getting a crocodile? Have you got 2 now?
4.
4?
Yes. So we did a road trip to Broome.
Yep.
And I underestimated the travelling time. But there was a reason why I had to travel by road. There is a production in the pipeline that was involved, and one of your old crew members was even one of the cameramen.
Yes, Ben O'Hayan.
Yeah.
One of the camera people and sound guys here for the couch.
Yeah.
So when will this be? Can we say what channel it's on?
I don't think I'm meant to talk about it just yet.
Not yet, so I can't tell you it's not on Channel 9. So you've got other options. But look, it's wonderful, because by the way, Channel 9, you're running ads there, which are wonderful.
Yeah, and they actually Win9 sponsor the croc enclosure at the zoo.
Well done, Channel 9. Great effort. Now, tell me a little bit about Broome, because we've called him Broome because that's where he's from.
Yep. So we brought Broome and 3 other saltwater crocodiles down from Broome, Malcolm Douglas's park.
Now, what does it mean when you say, I know saltwater means they live in saltwater, but what's the difference?
Okay, so that's a really good question, because people assume when you say saltwater or estuarine crocodile that they live in saltwater. It's that they have the ability to live in brackish water or salt water as well as fresh water, where obviously a freshwater crocodile lives in fresh water.
And which of the 2 will eat a person? Or you can tell me both.
The salt water.
Why is that? Why the
because of the
freshwater?
size they grow to.
Okay.
But a freshwater will still have a go at you and take a big chunk out of you. And people have said to me, why don't you have freshwater crocodiles? When I've worked with freshwaters in the past, you can see this salty here is pretty calm, although I have got my fingers there holding his head. If I was to loosen my fingers, he would tell us otherwise. But I think with salt waters or estuarines, people respect them more, so they're aware that they can be dangerous, and they tend to be a little bit more calmer.
And how old is Broome?
He's approximately 6 months old.
6 months. Wow.
We'll keep him at the zoo till approximately 4 years old, or 1.2 metres, in which time he'll go back to Malcolm Douglas's park, and we'll bring some more small ones home.
So in the time that you've got Broome, what will he eat?
He'll eat pinky mice. He'll eat a mixture of some minces, with which could be beef, chicken, even roux meat with some calcium powder. We'll have feeder fish in his pond, and maybe even some salmon occasionally.
Now, you said it grows to what, 1.2
1.2
metres?
is when they have to go back,
And then
but they can get up to 3 to 4 metres.
So they will grow he'll grow even bigger than that. Look, I've always been, I think they're a beautiful animal, but I've always been scared of them. Even when I went up to Broome, everything's caged off because they're scared to, people, and people don't always read the signs, which is sad. But is this the start of something new for Red Zoo?
It is. It's the first time the zoo has ever had crocs. I was fortunate to work with them in Sydney, but due to our rules and regulations here in Western Australia, when I first moved to Perth, it wasn't possible for me to have salties or freshies in my mobile display.
How hard is it for you in WA? What does someone have to do? Is it just as simple as going to the website and saying, I wish to buy a crocodile?
So, no, it's a matter of applying to DBCA. With us, we had a draftsman draw up the enclosure.
Yep.
I brought over a keeper from Queensland who'd worked at a croc farm as well as crocs at other wildlife parks. There will be a training process for our other staff to learn how to work with these animals.
Which is good.
And then they'll be able to be involved with them. But the fact that we can offer the chance for the public to have an encounter with a croc, unfortunately they won't get to hold it on their own, but they get to sit with us and we'll rest the tail there and they can take as many photos as they like.
I think for a lot of kids and a lot of adults, it's probably the closest they've ever probably going to get to a crocodile. And I think it's wonderful, especially for the educational side, because you, as we know, you run tour groups with schools, etc. So kids are going to love having Broome and his 3 other brothers and sisters there. Is there a licence that you have to have? Because I know people out there applying for.
We have an exhibitor's permit. It's literally, or in the case of Malcolm Douglas's park, I believe they run on a croc farm licence.
When can people come down and see it at Red Zoo?
Any day of the week except Christmas Day, and what we call the encounter, when you can have a photo with them, is between 2 and 2:30 p.m. of an afternoon, any day of the week.
And is that obviously there's a charge for the photo, and that goes to running the zoo?
Yeah, so that charge help goes because these guys need to be kept warm.
Oh, wow.
So these guys, with their beautiful new enclosure, also have a sand filter and a spa pump with an inbuilt heater.
Even a spa pump.
To keep the water at approximately 28 to 30 degrees.
How do you know when a crocodile's happy? Is there a sign that you look for?
That they eat, that they're active, that they have healthy looking skin and whatnot.
And is there different types of crocodiles? Like, is there a name for this type of crocodile?
So this guy, as I said, we've got freshies and we've got salties.
Yep.
And this one here is what they call a blonde because of its colour.
Oh.
But we also brought down 2 that were dark in colour. So we brought down 2 blondes and 2 darks. Now, at the moment, there's only 3. Steve Irwin was one of the 4 that was doing a study into them because the actual dark ones have nodules each side of their mouth as well as being a different colour. So there is research going into whether they are separate subspecies.
I think he's getting impatient.
I think he's warming up under these lights.
He's probably seen me now, thinking, what a nice red meal. Look, it's wonderful, Red. Tell us the opening hours for the zoo.
We're open 9 to 5 on school holidays, weekends and public holidays, and 10 to 4 on Monday
and
to
where
Fridays.
Are you located?
We're located on Century Drive, which is behind the Pinjarra Golf Course off Pinjarra Road.
And we've got school holidays coming up?
We have, and I'll actually be at the Perth Royal Show for the first week of the school holidays.
Oh, wow.
We won't have the salties on display there, but we'll have a lot of other animals, and you can come down to see us at the show, and you can get a free entry pass for a child with a paying adult.
What better reason do you need? Wonderful crocodiles exhibited at Red Zoo, and go down and get an entry pass at the Royal Show. Well done. Thank you very much for bringing in Broome. It looks amazing. I can't wait to hold it, but I know I'm not allowed to. This is, of course, Ranger Red, or Brad as we call him. Thank you for coming in. Look out for the new TV show. He'll tell us when he can tell us, and maybe we'll even run a clip on the couch. Thank you as always, Red. We'll see you very soon on the couch, maybe next month before the end of the year. We'll take a break. Coming up, Bitchin' on the couch. We'll see you then.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome back to my favourite segment for today's show. It is, of course, Bitchin'. And as always, I love having our bitches in the studio. We're going to introduce Ted Bull.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today.
It's a great pleasure.
TV presenter, journo, everything.
Yeah.
He's no longer referred to as Ted.
Yeah.
He's referred to as Edward.
Sir Edward.
Oh.
I reckon Sir Edward.
I don't even mind Eddie.
Do we have to bow to you now?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought you always did.
Is that
no, we were doing things, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and it was particularly behind your back.
Is that what was going on in the tea room? Nat Foster, of course, from Zamiped.
That's it, yes.
Love having you here. Now, you're a broadcaster as well from the past, and you haven't done but she hasn't done a lot of broadcasting. But you never know. There's a few vacancies.
Oh
coming
yes,
up,
you'd be great getting up at 4:30 every morning again.
Be earlier than that, wouldn't it?
Oh well, no.
Actually,
Brought to you by
more like 3:30.
Chris would be producing you.
And
so
can we
most of the
welcome
work would
Chris
be done.
Ilsley as well, broadcaster, IT support, everything these days.
Yeah,
well
jack
done.
of all trades, master of none.
And guess
Thanks
what?
For having me on, Fred.
Because we've introduced you third, you're going to start today. What's your story?
My story is about the obscene rate at which the price of coffee is rising.
What's it doing?
Going up.
Why?
Well, I suppose because there's some supply shortage because of COVID. That's the reason we're going to be told. There's a cynical side of me that says somebody looks at these things and goes, we can make some serious money. Oh, and we can blame COVID.
Yes.
Everything's blamed on COVID.
Isn't it funny? I had the Retail Services Director from the Department of Consumer Protection here today, Trish Blake, and we were talking about that very topic. And it is unusual that so many things have gone up in the name of Ukraine and in the name of COVID, have nothing to do with either of those.
So why would coffee go up in price?
Because allegedly, it's all...
They need it in Ukraine.
It all comes down to the law of supply and demand. And put simply, when they talk about inflation, in simple terms, inflation is defined as too much money chasing too few goods. So what they say is the supply of coffee has been retarded as a result of COVID-19, not enough people working to be able to pick it and produce it. the war in Ukraine because people don't want to fly with their planes full of coffee over Russia because Mr. Putin might shoot it down. And so therefore we don't have as much of it, so the price goes up.
Yeah,
but of course this is subject to manipulation.
But see, you know, I don't care. I don't give a rat's proverbial because I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, see, but if you were...
I love tea.
Yes.
I'm a tea.
So what if the tea went up?
Well, that would be totally different.
Well, then
I'd be up in arms.
Unacceptable.
Yes.
Totally.
The only coffee I really like
is...
is...
you and I differ. I actually understand why wars were started over coffee. To me, coffee is a food group.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it needs to be officially recognised as such.
I paid $8 a cup the other day where it used to be about $4.
$8?
$8 a cup of coffee cappuccino, and they don't tell you why. You pay it because you know what it is. It's a time of opportunity. People are saying they're sitting out there in business and they're saying, "Oh, interest rates have gone up, petrol's gone up. Oh, biscuits have gone up, cakes have gone up. Let's put up our coffee." So they put it up, and notice how nobody questions it because we're all expecting.
Because you're so desperate to have your bloomin' caffeine
consumers think it must be right.
So what you do is you go to Ampol Foodery, $2.
And $1 at 7-Eleven.
Well, yeah, that's for that much. That wouldn't even get my heart started.
How about affogato? Is it affogato?
Affogato with the ice cream.
I love affogato. That's the only coffee I like.
They'll probably be $35 now.
Yeah. Oh, I love affogato.
It's interesting. So would you buy? Do you think it's the price increase is valid, or you don't agree with it?
Look, I often look at, and I'm quite sympathetic to business, I often look at stuff and think, yeah, there's a justifiable reason for that. My short opinion is I think this is opportunism. To be blunt, I think it's absolute total BS.
I brought this up with the Director of Consumer Protection when she came in today, and petrol was another one of my pet hates, and she agreed with me. This, how can some of the petrol stations out there be giving you discounts of 50 cents a litre virtually? There's a new one on Guildford Road, which is like a wholesaler. They're charging $1.40 a litre. Now,
here's something
how
I wish
are
they'd
they still
stop.
making money at that price?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is they are, but here's something I wish they'd stop. They like to talk about the weekly price cycle and the fortnightly price cycle.
It's gone fortnightly, yeah.
Why don't they call it what it is? Blatant manipulation, unchecked by a toothless tiger called the ACCC.
Correct.
Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, look, I think there's going to be changes there. They're looking into the petrol prices, and I think the government's also
You know what I'm
very
looking
keen.
forward to? All electric vehicles in the day, I'm sorry to do this on television, but the day we can do that to big oil, I am so looking forward to that.
And
BP,
and we'll be
Shell
homeless.
et al, when you go broke the same way as Kodak is the dodo bird, I'm going to be so happy.
As far as
Thank
I'm
you,
concerned,
Chris.
you can do the same to big coffee too.
No way.
No.
Big coffee is protected.
Thank you very much.
No.
Natalie, your
Look,
turn.
from one huge addictive substance to another addictive substance. This one is shocking. They're doing a no smoking ban. They're going to be cutting out smokes from WA prisons.
Used to give me ciggies.
Right? Could you imagine old Lizzie? Oh, Liz, B.
They'd have
She
no
didn't have her
role.
smokes. They're starting with Bandy Up Prison on the 31st of
Is that
October.
discrimination because they're starting with women only first?
Well,
going
probably
everywhere.
because they're probably going to think there's going to be less riots maybe in the women's prison than in the men's prison.
$10 million a year spent in prisons through their canteen, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what?
$10
Four
million.
out of
Taxpayer
five inmates smoke.
That actually makes sense.
And
because I
remember-
read somewhere it was 80%. So
And
that,
remember,
yes.
it's taxpayer money because they earn only so much per week working in the laundry.
I saw the movie The Green Mile,
Yes.
and the cigarettes are used as how they
Currency.
pay
Oh,
currency.
Yeah, currency.
Yeah. But the other thing...
they've still got crystal meth and heroin and stuff,
course.
so that's all right.
No.
Well, they haven't cut that out.
I was
It's
going to
just
say, that's
smoke.
going to look great. The guards say, no, I can't give you any cigarettes.
All right, so
I can give you a couple of hits of
do you
heroin.
think it's a good plan? And this is the state government in WA. They're starting with Bandy Up, I believe.
Yeah.
They're going to cut the cigarettes. It means the taxpayer will save a lot of money. But I'm one of these people that believes that if you have money, whether it's given to you by the government or you've worked it, now genuinely they've worked that money.
Yeah.
You have the right
should
to
not be
spend it as
told
you see
where to
fit.
spend it. And I
Well,
think
what
it
they're
comes back to-
saying is it's going to be safer for the guards and the people that work within the prison.
They're only allowed to
Smoke outside anyway, so it shouldn't make any difference. But I'm just thinking, if I was a guard, you've got all these people, prisoners,
bit of cash.
they've got no time, they've got they're stressed. I mean, would you not rather have them that than organising shanks and stuff?
Yep. But not only
and then,
that,
you know, you could get attacked or riots. I think keep the smokes in there.
Something else, and I once had a conversation with a prison officer about this, and the one thing he said, which I thought was really important, he said, you don't realise that, let's say, for example, you've got a problem with a prisoner who's acting up. You might say to him, listen, mate, if you pull your head in, I'll give you 10 extra smokes this week. And that's a really big deal for him.
Yeah. What's my view? Isn't Shaq a basketball player?
No, Shank.
Oh, I thought you said Shaq.
Do you not watch Wentworth or Orange is the New Black?
Shaquille. But you know what? I'm now thinking of a new business venture. I'm going to get one of those Mr. Whippy vans, redecorate it to Mr. Siggy, and I'm going to go to I'm going to go to all the prisons and go ding-a-ling, have like a smoking puff on the roof, and stop at the prison.
You could be Queen Fred. You go in there, go, who wants to smoke? I said pet.
Oh,
if you've got something you can cruise down the road, I mean, I just see you cruising down the road, Mr. Whippy thing, and something comes up, next thing, boom, shoot all these cigarette packets over the fence.
It might be good for the future.
And you can change your name to Nicholas. You'd be known as Nico Teen, the Irishman.
Yes,
Nick
I get that
O'Teen.
Oh, God.
That's terrible. You can see us at breakfast announcements, can't you? Terrible lines
now,
like
what's your
that.
topic, Ted?
Do you reckon this is going to work? Before do you guys think that banning cigarettes in prisons is going to work?
I think it's going to cause trouble.
I think it's fraught with fraudness.
Yeah, I agree.
I would be concerned about riots and they've got more time.
You know something?
I think
They talk about accommodating intravenous drug users and all that sort of stuff.
And as I said,
at some point, we are actually going to have to learn how to accommodate hardcore smokers.
If they're earning that money, should they not be allowed to use it on anything they want?
And I think cigarettes aren't illegal. And while they're not illegal,
exactly, they're not.
And whether they spend it on coffee, tea, biscuits, or
it's up
chips
to them.
or cigarettes.
And listen, when I was a smoker, I would forego everything for a smoke.
Yep. No, look, I think governments are starting to try their feet. What do you call it? They're getting into situations where they're telling us what to do with your money.
No, they're worried about litigation. Really, that's it. They're worried about court cases. Yep, that's what it is.
For the people that work there.
Oh, you mean people claiming? But you know, if they're only allowed to smoke outside, it's going to be pretty hard to claim.
Let's move on. Ted, yours is a very good topic.
Well, mine. Well, actually, this is about scamming, and it's a personal experience. A couple of weeks ago, Jules got a message on WhatsApp from our son Ben, and he said he dropped his phone in the toilet and all his accounts have been locked for 48 hours whilst he had this new phone and he couldn't access his accounts. So he's having stuff done at his house at the moment, and so we thought perhaps it's for a project payment, a progress payment I should say, and so Jules sort of went through this account, that account to try and get the money together, and she did, and she put it into this account, and then the scammer, a little greedy, came back and said, "Oh, Mum, I need another $9,000." And she thought, this one doesn't sound good, does it? And at the same time, NAB got in contact with us and said there's a red flag up, we think you're being scammed, and they immediately stopped the transaction because it was going from NAB to another bank. So we didn't lose any money. A lot of people have.
Good on the bank for being alert.
Oh yeah, well I think they are. And then Jules had been in contact with this person and she said, "I don't think it's Ben because he said, 'Hello, how are you, Mum?' Yes. Ben would never ask me how I was."
No.
So did she speak to Ben?
No, it was all done on WhatsApp.
So you didn't even call Ben?
We called Ben later.
Talking to Ben on WhatsApp.
And so anyway, we were okay. However, it's become quite a common thing.
You've got to be careful. I was just reading this note here from the ACCC. $1.8 billion has been stolen from Australians in 2021, more than double from 2020. So it was only 9 billion, and it's gone to 1.8 billion. And we do urge people, anyone that has been a victim of one of these scams, you need to notify your bank immediately so they can help you with that.
The bank was great. And I have to say,
they are.
And interesting about 1.8 billion, they say that it's probably over 2 billion because there are a lot of people who won't report it, you know.
Do you know, Ted, there's a lot of elderly people that are preyed on this because elderly people, it's like when someone rings you and says, like the man that got ripped off a few years ago, his wife had cancer, he was helping pay for her treatment. They rang him up and said they were from the tax office. He gave up $30,000. Then he gave another $30,000. Then they asked for another $30,000 and he ran out of money. But logically, I say to people, have a think about it. The tax office, if you're not working, you shouldn't be paying tax anyway. Question everything before you spend money.
A lot of people, and I had this when somebody phoned me. These people, when they phone up, they sound very threatening.
Yep.
And that's the point. One of these blokes who phoned me up is really threatening. And I naturally had to
told him what to do.
I took the mickey out. And do you know what he said to me?
What?
He said, you need to take this very serious.
Oh, yes, you'll be arrested.
And I said,
serious.
Do I really need to take this serious? He said, yes.
Yep.
He told me, and I actually think he meant to say capital, but his command of English wasn't that good.
Well,
he said, you are facing corporal punishment. And he
punishment.
Yeah, well, he didn't like my reaction. I said, did you say corporal punishment?
Well,
He
come
said,
over now. Yeah.
yes, corporal punishment. And I said, oh, goody, I demand to be whipped now.
Ted,
and there's a 5-second pause and then he hung up.
It is a serious issue and a lot of people get
very
caught.
serious. And Jules sent a message back to this chap saying, bad luck, you didn't win. And she added a line I gave her, which was, I hope you rot in hell.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because
Nat, have you had anything happen to you?
You get a message from your kids.
My mum's very savvy. So anybody contacts her, if anybody rings her, she goes, wait, I'm going to contact my daughter. She does nothing without contacting me first.
But here's something that they need to remember.
Yep.
ACMA could shut all this nonsense down if they were prepared to get off their proverbial bureaucratic backsides and do something about it.
Like I said, when they privatised Telstra is when we started getting all these scam calls
Yeah.
and everything else. Look, I had, just to wrap up
No, it's
before
the
we
internet
go,
who allows this.
I had an email from someone saying I inherited $10 million or something from England, and they said to me, you need to pay $1,000 if you want the 10 million. So I wrote back to them and said, can you take the 1,000 out of the 10 million? And I never heard from them again. So you've got to be very careful, folks.
And anybody that preys on the elderly, you just mongrel.
Exactly. Ted, just to finish off.
I wanted to say this. We all think it's new. It's not. No. The Spanish prisoner scam was run in 1910.
Yep.
And it was like a Nigerian princess.
Really?
The very same scam.
Wow.
1910.
So
and don't forget, we used to get letters at one stage from people trying to scam
Thank you.
They used to
Thank
send
you
out
to
bulk
Ted
letters.
Sauls. Thank you to Natalie Foster-Warren. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to Chris Ilsley, as always. Pleasure to have all three of you here. And thank you to you at home for watching The Couch today. I hope you've enjoyed the program. We'll do it again next week, episode 733. From all of us here at The Couch, have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.